How you doing?
Peace to the gods, man. Peace, bro. Peace to the gods, man.
Yes, how you doing today?
I'm good, bro. I can't complain at all. I'm grateful.
Great.
Appreciate you having me here for sure.
Man, appreciate you being here. You know what I'm saying? Definitely love being around you. Love your energy. Love your family. So respect. Love what you do. So
Thank you, man.
Man, it's an honor.
Same family for real. You already know. You already know.
Yes, hey, man. Well, first tell the people who you are.
Yeah, I'm Ron Obasi. Shit, most people know I'm born and raised right here, Nashville, Cashville, East, man. But yeah, Ron Obasi.
Ooh. I'm from outside, but I got time.
No, I love my outside people though. Like I lived out there for 2 years and stuff too. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I love my East people too. I'm always out here now, so it's like I can't talk shit no more.
On the low, we all the same people.
Yeah. Two bigger sides, man. So what first led you to your healing path, and was there a defining moment when you knew this was your calling?
That was a good question.
We're gonna get deeper.
Yeah, man. What first led me to my healing path? Pain, bro. Pain. I think we all uncomfortably. It's hard to talk about that out loud, but you know, shit. My backstory is like, I had my siblings, I had my mom. You feel me? My pops is. Our relationship is better now, but that was like one of the first like straining things that I could remember as a kid. It was like him, and then just the area. I grew up in Casey. You have fun as kids, but when you're aware, you realize like the adults are going through painful things. Mm-hmm. And as kids, we're impressionable people, so you got to learn how to maneuver around that. And then I became an adult. And at that point, it's just generational. So now you got me going through my own kind of things. I became a father. And I think that is the most defining moment of like, you got a whole lot of shit you need to heal, bro, before you raise someone else. And that's where it started. That's where I began to figure out what my connection and my conversation with God, the Most High, was like, what I needed for my healing work. Off camera, me and the guy Mecca, we was talking about therapists and psychiatrists, and I never had access to any of that. Right. A lot of us haven't, honestly.
I had my first one when I was in prison. So
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Rehabilitation isn't really a stable thing in our community. So, you know, without getting into much to it, like shit, I ain't perfect. So I got like a lot of, you know what I'm saying, trauma on me just like everybody else, PTSD on me like everybody else. And, you know, you don't come out of shit unscathed. So you trying to raise a kid and you trying to like figure out who you are and what's my spirituality like? What do I need? Boom, okay, I start writing. That's like one of my first practices I can remember, like, this gonna help me. Breathing practices, meditation. Like I'm digging for something to bring me a sense of calmness. Because at this point, everything in life is abrasive. I'm responding to shit without thinking. Right. I'm just making impulsive decisions. Mm-hmm. I'm choosing to destroy. I don't even know I'm capable of building. So, right. Yeah, man, that's how I got into my healing work. I started with myself first, and then, right.
That's powerful. Yeah. You say you didn't know you was capable of building. A lot of people still don't know that.
It is a shift of a mindset, right? Like, mm-hmm. And to people not knowing, I think a lot of us don't have a lot of people to let us know that we can build. So I was grateful enough to have people around me to let me know, like, you just as much as you're capable of destroying, man. That's power. You need power to destroy, right? Yeah. Anger is power. Like, what you gonna do with it? Yeah. And I found the other side of all of that.
Damn. Yeah. OG once told me if you're gonna destroy something, you better have the power to build it back up.
You better. Yeah. And it better be something better than what you're knocked down. So and that doesn't mean people should go around wielding and weaponizing who they are just to destroy just cause. But there are some things that do need to be dismantled. First starting with ourselves. Yeah. And then maybe, it'll reflect in your communities, it'll reflect in the world. Like, this structure does not benefit me as an individual, nor does it benefit the community. So, like, that's something that needs to be dismantled and destroyed.
Gotcha. So was it a pivotal moment that you was like, you named a lot of things to answer that question, but was it that one moment that was like, I gotta switch this up?
Damn. There was a lot of those moments, right? But I think my most recent moment was my relationship and over-identifying with with the artist or creative side of myself. I don't think people really kind of dive into the spiritual or the shadow side of what that really is. Right. It looks like looking for someone to validate. It looks like creating chaos so you can have something to create from. Right, looks like. Right. And that shit came to a head, you feel me? Like, jeopardized my family stability. Got to a point where it was like, you find yourself like, am I still moving in dignified ways? You feel me? Like, and it wasn't nothing like with other people. It was like how I saw myself, to be honest. Like, and I think that kind of broke me down because I just started removing shit from my life. Like, removing shit, like, quick. Stability, income, all of that shit. Who are you? You feel me? Like, who are you for real, for real? So with that, when you don't got, I had my beautiful daughters, obviously. I have a beautiful fiance. Yeah. But as an individual, I'm like, what do I have? What do I have? And I think that was the most redefining moment. I don't think a lot of people, I ain't never spoke on this, bro, but 2023, well, I moved to Dallas in 2022, right after a Slim and Husky show. The next day I had moved to Dallas. So there was like a sense of stability when I got there for like a year and a half, but I started teaching when I was out there. I became a program leader and I was still doing music. So I, as 27, 28-year-old, I'm like, I got this shit figured out. And everything that I just said, like I said, it came to a head and I was being extremely egotistical, over-identifying with the spiteful things, over-identifying with the internal controversial things. So I needed a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I lost all that income, I lost all of that shit. So now my family in a destabilized thing. Like, we facing eviction, all of that shit. So I never really spoke on none of that shit. A lot of people think everything is like, and it's not for what people think, it's more so like, what is your upkeep? What are you trying to portray? Who you trying to be? So you got all of that shit going on with myself, and it's like, I'm being forced to surrender. Right. I'm being forced to like find gratitude. Mm-hmm. And I'm being forced to rework my mind. I'm being forced to like, you know what I'm saying, dive deep. Cause all this shit just a reflection of me for real. There's nobody else to blame. Right. You feel me? So that's one of the most recent things I can think of where excuse me, I can go into all the details and shit as well, you feel me? Like I said, off camera. Right. It was just catching up. I was just telling like, bro, like I was really going through it and, you lose a lot of people who are not understanding that you're trying to figure yourself out. A lot of people they take that and they weaponize against you. Like, damn, I ain't heard from you. Are you acting? And he was like, bro, like, nigga, I got 2 children. I got a fiance, nigga. We trying to figure out where we gonna live next month. I don't have shit to say right now. Right. But at the same time, it's more so just me. At that point, it was me trying to figure out me, man. Still doing that to this day. But that's probably the most defining moment that I can think of recently. You can pinpoint a lot of those in life, right? I'm sure you can because you're doing healing work. Yeah. And all the people that I know do healing work, they got to know about the dark, man. They got to know the shadow. They got to know, like... It's a whole nother episode. You know what I'm saying? They got to. So, because you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't even know how to work with pain if you didn't go through yours.
I used to tell people all the time, especially, when I was locked up and we had those counselors, and I'm like, y'all got, one had a DUI charge and one went through some bullshit, and like, y'all wonder why we not in here listening to y'all, because y'all haven't been through anything to kind of reach us. You know what I'm saying? That's why it was important for me to get out and go talk to the juveniles, to go, go back in the jail and talk to the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Because when people come in here and they walk their life, you know what I'm saying, they gonna listen to how you got out of it, because some people still stuck.
Thanks, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But
Thanks.
yeah, we.
I already know. I already know.
So, in your view, what role does community play in the healing journey?
A big part. A big part.
Mm-hmm.
Individual and community are commune, nigga, in unity. You break, etymology, break all of it down, and it comes to the individual has to cultivate the best version of themselves to be in community. A lot of times we like separate ourselves, which is cool because we need to do that too. But you got to return. We all return, and I think for me, the same journey that I was just talking about, where people were kind of chastising me for choosing myself, there was community that I found who understood shit that I couldn't even things that I couldn't even word for myself. That was like, bro, come here. Why you don't push us? Come here, bro. Like, we understand you.
Yeah, God brought you your people.
Yeah, bro. And that shit meant everything to me. Because, again, I got a beautiful family, man. And they were there too, bro. Like, not just my girls, my mom. I got a real brother and sister. And they don't walk the same walk that I do. But when I was going through my shit, they was right there.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
It was right there. So, you know, in those moments when we thinking about community and we thinking about the people around us, like, and when it comes to healing, when you're doing your part as far as individual healing, you got to know that shit radiate. Mm-hmm. You got to know that it spreads, just like everything else spread.
Right.
So, me consistently being mindful that I have to keep doing this work. I've seen it in my family. I've seen it in other community members, and watching people continuously put their effort in to show up as their best selves inspired me too. For real, there's people I'm grateful that they've allowed me to be there for them. Right. So community is important, because you can't heal nobody if niggas don't want to be healed. So
true. Some niggas don't know they got a problem. They so comfortable with where they at that, and it comes with fear and change, and it comes with a lot. Like, every situation is different for each individual. Thanks. But, if you want a different outcome, you definitely got to change a lot of shit about yourself.
Bro. We stubborn people, man. We're a stubborn creation, but for good reason, though, I think.
Yeah. Hundreds of years of trauma, let's start there, you know what I'm saying? But, glad to have a good, ancestral team that show you things and be like, hey, this ain't the worst of it. We probably don't get there, but we're going to prepare you for it,
Talking about community.
Yeah.
The unseen, right? And ones that walk with us always. And we always got to make space and way for them too, because they definitely walk with us in the DNA. You know what I'm saying? You can break it down to science, you can break it down to whatever you want to break it to, but ancestral is deep. The ancestors, they definitely walk with us. And I know you know, but we stand on that. We give reverence to them all the time, because, and even down to that, one of my, a mentor of mine, man, real wisdom, like real wisdom. And a lot of times we do reach for, which we're supposed to. We make reverence, and we definitely reach, and we got our ancestral community. Mm-hmm. And that was like one of the ones who kind of opened my, the wisdom he gave me opened my eyes to, like, bro, like, you looking past all of the physical community that you got in support, in search of, mm-hmm. the ancestral, the people that's not here, but they manifest in the physical too. You feel me? Same DNA, same people. But yeah, man.
Right. We keep on going about this, man. We
Yeah.
got so much time, you feel me? So, whew. But all right. So, what does healing look like for you personally right now, and how has it changed over time?
What does healing look like to me personally right now? Being present with my family, for sure. That's my source. I can't do anything in the world if there ain't no peace in my crib. Need everybody to. That's. I know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this a number of times, and I say this because I don't think everyone. Not because I don't think everyone feels like this, but I think everyone disregards this in a way. But for me, my healing work is, again, the inside of my crib will reflect on all the work that I do. And it's not I won't say it's an easy thing to stabilize. It's just like, that's where my healing work takes work. You feel me? That's where I do my deep dive. You feel me? The world moves at its own speed. I can slow time down in the crib. I can slow time down with my kids. I can slow time down with my fiance. And a lot of things that's healing me too is the more the opportunities that community has been giving me to step outside of my shell too. So peace to the gods, like, working with Recycling Reinvest and doing work on the Earth School work and getting to learn from all of these people, and they communicating things that I communicate differently, but there's a commonality there. You feel me? That shit is healing because different perspectives heal me too. Feeding my mind, talking to y'all, talking to like-minded people. That's healing work. That's a part of my personal healing journey right now too. Learning from people. Always learning from people. And yep. Those are the big components right now. The new ways community is allowing me to show up and doing my practices at the crib.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I got you. Appreciate you being vulnerable, brother.
I try, man. I try. I ain't the most vulnerable person. I know y'all know, like, everybody in here are writers, so y'all know how easy it is for us to speak in parables and not be straightforward. But
right. Yeah.
I'm doing my best, man. You asking some great questions. Some great questions.
Thank you. I mean, to heal, we got to go in.
That's a fact.
Hey, Laura Hill said that's how you gonna win if you ain't
right
with that. Yeah. You feel me? So,
they go this.
Yeah. Appreciate
you. Yo, what's good, man? How you feeling?
Good, man.
Good, man. Bro. Good to see you again, man.
Always, God.
Yeah, man. What's up?
Always, man. What's up? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna tap into some questions, man, on the healing journey that you've been on, stuff like that. So let's dive in, man. One of the first questions is, what ancestral wisdom or lineage guides your healing practice, and how do you stay connected to
it? Y'all are cooking with these questions.
Deep diving. This is the deep dive part.
Yeah, mostly because, my practices are definitely sacred, but I have the blessing and the gratitude to be inspire and pull from E5 practices.
Okay, good.
Divinations.
What is E5 for some people that don't know?
So it's a Yoruba practice. Originates in the West Africas, all over the Africas.
Yeah.
A lot of us brought it over here in the spores, but E5's Santeria. The names are different.
Yeah.
So if going into that, like if I go into detail, then you'll hear the different variations, right? Down to the orishas, down to the practices. They're all practiced in different ways. Altars.
For altars.
Burnings of the sages. And I don't burn sage, for me, but I am, there's different practices that goes, but my personal one is more so go into the actions and the practicality.
Like everyday rituals and stuff like
everyday
that.
rituals, being mindful of what I'm doing with the breathing work, being mindful of what I'm doing in community, being mindful of what I'm doing in family, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the spiritual practices or the wisdom that I get from Ifa, like, and it's not just Ifa, that's what I'm saying. So like my folks, they from the South, they go to Baptist church.
Yeah.
I'm not Christian.
Same.
But I still pull from a lot of the wisdom that I learned from good church folk, from good Black Southern folk. The golden rules,
the principles,
the principles, you know what I mean? So those are all part of my practice. I have universal practices. I study universal law. I study many books. I've been in the Qurans. I've been in the Kabbalions, the Hermetic practices.
Yeah, you just learn from everything.
I learn from everything, and you have to, because then you realize the singularities or the commonalities and the universal truths.
You look from an aerial view. You can see everything for what it is. Yeah.
So those are my universal practices. Those are my spiritual practices.
Yeah. And how do you stay connected to them?
How do I stay connected to them? I do my best to be mindful. Like I said, I understand how easily being in your spiritual practices can turn into escapism.
Yeah, what you said.
And so staying grounded is, like I said, remain present. We in a 3D for a reason.
Yeah.
I got this physical body for a reason. So everything that my flesh touches is just as important as my spiritual practices. So I tend to those things.
Right, the spiritual beings have the physical.
So that's how I stay present. I take care of what's in front of me, and I believe in the work. Yeah.
So, the next question would be, have you ever experienced a time when your healing work challenged your beliefs or identity? And what did you learn from that?
Yeah, bro. Like, that's the meat and potatoes of it all. Like, every single time, bro. Like, transcendence requires resistance. I think a lot of us, I'm learning how to stop speaking like that because it sounds like projection. So I'm gonna say me. I've learned that the resistance, right, and the neglect of being challenged by different perspectives, being challenged by different conversations, being challenged by different approaches, you miss out on the opportunity to sharpen your own spiritual and mental sword.
Right then and there.
Right then and there. So, and you have to find the value in what you know and the value in like what you don't know, so you can like
measure that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Facts, bro. Like, because the conversations are always conducive if you allow them to be. I'm not talking about sharing arguments and unnecessary debates about ignorant shit. I'm talking about when somebody let me know that me living in my spirituality is, nigga, you ain't grounded. What work are you doing? You can meditate all fucking day, but you got bills to pay.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, reality hits.
You can sit in silence for all you want, but you got an action to make. So when you learning those balance of spirituality and you learning like, and hopefully I'm answering the question because I know you was asking for like a particular like moment, but those are what the moments look like. And again, most recently, it's just like over-identifying with the stage, bro. Like, I got a lot more to give than people that's showing up and trying to show people that I'm talented.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. So why would I expect other people to like give a fuck about that? I know what I give a fuck about. So then I'm able to set the precedence of like, you know, I'm able to stabilize the frequency. I'm able to remain connected. I'm able to maneuver in the world in a more authentic way rather than thinking people only accept me when I show up to rap some words.
Thanks, man.
That's my most recent version of my perspective of myself being challenged. And also my spirituality for sure, because like I told you, like I had locks and that was a spiritual journey for me. And cutting those was a physical manifestation of me learning how to let go. Detachment. Yeah. Letting go of an image.
Yeah, the delusion of a mask that you're supposed to think you're supposed to be wearing.
You know what I'm saying? And that trickled down in different areas. You feel like letting go of
who you think you are.
Yeah. And becoming who I am in the present moment and leaning into that edge. So when the next time I'm being called to be something more expensive of myself, I can step into that. Probably still won't be easy. I'm not looking for it easy.
Right. But it'd be easier.
Facts.
Yeah, because you already know the lessons from the last identity crisis.
I should.
What's up? Yeah. I love it. Yeah. How do you navigate the responsibility of holding space for someone else's pain while honoring your own?
Another great question.
Another one.
You and Goldie, man. I love y'all, bro, for real.
Well,
it's an honor for y'all because these questions are super intentional. And I for me, having to learn that has been one of my personal incarnation lessons. Because, like I said, a lot of people, here I go again, I didn't understand the shadow side of God blessing you with creative attributes. I didn't understand how self-absorbed one becomes to manifest the creations. And then when everything around that challenges that, it feels like everything's under attack. It feels like your identity and your persona is under attack. But it's really just trying to, if you see it this way, if you allow yourself to see it this way, it's just pulling you out of that, bro. Like, nigga, everybody a creative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody blessed with talent.
Everybody blessed with those. And, okay, like, you know, you walk, you believe in your walk powerful enough, right? And that's cool. But shit, like, what value is that bringing to other people?
Now, what service are you giving?
You know what I'm saying? Other than beating your chest.
Yeah.
Or like living in your self-pity. Like, that's the extreme.
Yeah, that's the extreme.
That's the extreme.
It's like ego versus the heart.
You feel me? And soul, heart and soul for sure. Like, wondering, like, if people see you, like, are you seeing other people? You know what I mean? So it goes to the questions like, how do I continue to hold space? I do my best to remain vulnerable. That's hard. That's a tough one for me.
It's tough for me too.
It's tough one for
learning that with that one, I guess. So,
because
I get it.
I'm not weak. I'm not weak-minded. But being vulnerable takes transparency.
Yeah, actually, it's strong. It shows it's not weakness. It's actually a stronger.
Yeah,
stronger side of you.
And as cliche as that shit sounds, that shit is difficult.
Yeah, it is. Tap into that.
You know what I'm saying? And I think vulnerability can be performative too, but that's another conversation. I think that's another conversation. So learning how to be for real vulnerable.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like have discernment at the same time. Those moments, right? And like I said, just being able to listen and not fucking talk. People have a lot more to say than you think. You know what I mean? Allow people to filter through their layers too. A lot of times we cut people off before they even get into, we got so many different communications.
Bro, love languages.
Love all of that, bro. So, and it's like, you know, feeling the vibrations. Being able to mindful breathe while I'm listening to people helps me hold space for them. So taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Making sure that I'm taking care of myself and on top of me, on top of my shit.
Yeah.
Allows for me to continue to make space so other people can do it. And that's constant work too.
Yeah, that's compassion.
That's compassion.
And then compassion is like, I feel like it's a pool. You got to swim to the other side. You got to swim to the other side.
Facts, man. And I know we, you know, you got another question, but I do want to add to the fact.
No, that's my last question, so you can wrap.
Oh yeah. Well, I do want to add to the fact that we gotta get out too. We gotta literally be in community to even know the lengths compassion can have as an impact, because it's easy to absorb shit, bro, from here.
Yeah.
It's easy to think about shit from like here.
But that's like not even 1%.
That's not even because we don't even show half the fractions of ourselves on social media.
We show the highlights.
You could be Lil Russell.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing his whole life.
Yeah, he may be depressed half the time.
Yeah,
you don't know.
and I'm not speaking that on him.
Yeah.
LaRussell is like one of the most inspirational people that I can think of right now. That like, damn, if the access that he grants people to see how much work he puts in.
Yeah.
But you just don't.
You don't know.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know, right?
That's why you should never wish trading places with anybody.
Fact. So I remember I'm mindful of like that in the world conversations, and I'm mindful of like just if you ain't talking to people, don't speak for them. You know what I mean? And you have to meet people where they are. Yeah. If your spiritual walk and your spiritual belief is separating you from people, then you need to reevaluate what it is you're practicing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about like the walk that you have to take to figure out who you are.
Right, because that's always going to be you.
That's always going to be there for you to have access to. I'm talking about how easy it is that we equip ourselves with information and knowledge, and then it only feeds the look at them dumb niggas side of ourselves.
But that's you. It's a reflection. Like you was there too.
You was there too. Mm-hmm. And you gotta somebody put the energy in the. Don't give a fuck where you got it from. You could get your information from the book. The person that sat down and wrote that book took the time to pull you from whatever space you needed.
Yeah.
So just being mindful of that is being mindful of all of those things are a well-rounded approach to how I do my best to remain in that, bro, because the human experience is something, but it's definitely it's something to be poured into and neglected, because that's how you got. This is how you you mold a lot of adults, and then you get the next generation of neglected perspectives.
All
passed down, bro. All passed down of like, we adults, and because we haven't learned to construct these type of conversations amongst ourselves as much as we need to, you got the children that don't even know how to talk to each other. You got the children just inflicting pain on each other, because that's a primary issue.
And that's why these things are important. These podcasts or these conversations, or these platforms to even hold these conversations.
That's why I appreciate y'all, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Really doing the healing work, bro. Really doing the healing work, bro.
Honored to have you, bro. I appreciate you sharing, man.
Yeah, man.
Big on. What's up? Healerz Circle.